Market day. It is Wednesday. Time for a holiday market. I have the car fully packed up. I'm ready to go. I have just one little snack with me. I meant to get like a bigger snack, but honestly, it was a work day for me, and it was a work day. I had a lot to do. So I had to focus on that, make sure the car got packed earlier today. I got everything tagged last night, which I feel really good about. It's going to be a lot better once I get there, get set up. I won't be scrambling to get everything ready. It'll all be good to go once it goes on the shelves. And yeah, the only thing I didn't get done was I did finish the big derpy. I will get some footage of him at the market. I did not make any Fury Dragons, and I did not make any medium-sized derpies. I do have another market on Saturday, however, so fingers crossed between now and then, I can really hunker down and focus on that. Depending on what sells at this market, there may be some other things that I need to restock, but we'll see how it goes. So let's get to the market. I remember my key. The only thing I don't have today is my standing collapsible craft cart that I use as my sort of admin station behind the booth. I don't have that with me today because I, at the last market, left the wheel. I saw it sitting there and I was like, that's not my wheel. And then I was like, maybe I should pick it up in case it is my wheel. And then I just wanted to get out of there because there was the protest and it was just very chaotic and it was a lot. So I was like, I'm just gonna go. And then I got home and I was like, oh, that was my wheel. So I need to get a replacement wheel for that. But right now the cart isn't stable. So I didn't want to bring it and like be fighting with it all day. So I have some bins that I can use, and I also have my crate that I always face toward me. I have the one facing out and the one facing toward me. I can use that for things like my bags, my tissue paper, things that I bring to help package things up when people make purchases. So let's go get to the markets and get all set up. Okay, that was the market. So that was a good one. I was very busy. It was what I hoped. It was a quick but saturated, busy market. I haven't looked at the numbers yet, so I will wait to do the full market recap when I get back. But I didn't have any time to check in during the market because honestly, the only time there weren't people in our conference room, I went to go get food because they had food. Market was amazing. The people were so friendly, so nice. I am so appreciative of being invited to this market. As it turns out, it was at my friend's work, which I had no idea. So I got to see her there, which was great. And it was hilarious because she was like, hey, and I was like, hey, I had a feeling this might be your office once I got here. So that was great. And yeah, just going home and I am going to crash. I did start a Fury Dragon while I was at the market between checking people out, but really there was, like I said, no downtime other than when I went to go get some food, which was in the last half hour. And then it was time to tear it all down. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to get in sweatpants and just probably go to bed. It's not even that late, but between the darkness and the prep and the past 5 hours just going by in a blur, it was a good day. So I will check in maybe tomorrow with a full market recap. Hello, I'm back at my desk. It's now Thursday, December 4th. My market was last night, and let's recap. I didn't get to capture a whole lot of footage, or any footage really, of the market itself. It was a short market, so it was busy, which is a good thing. I was very happy about that. So let's talk about it. and not talk about what my hair is doing because I have no idea. You can probably tell you're at a slightly different angle today because I have it pulled up on my computer in front of me and I didn't want to be facing away from the camera to look at my computer. So I put you above my computer so that I'm at least looking in that direction. So that's good. So let's get into it. The market ran for 3 hours yesterday. It was an invite-only market at a law firm office. They do it every year. I think this was why am I even trying to say what year this is of them doing it? I don't know. So I don't know how long they've been doing it, but it seemed pretty established. And this was the first year that they invited all of the tenants of the building that they're in to come to the market as well. It's usually open to their employees and clients. And this year it was also open to their tenants, which was great. Fabulously organized. There was food, there was drinks, there was Santa, there was music, there were a variety of vendors. There was no cross conflict of any vendors. Like, it was all unique vendors. So it was really well organized and put together. The space that I had was a conference room that I shared with one other vendor, which was great. Both of us had been invited from the same market in Wendell that I went to earlier this year. So that was fantastic. Like, we had a great time, got to talk to her, got to buy some tea from her. She's a great tea vendor, very local to this area. I believe it's Lotus Sage and Tea is her name. I will link her website below. And I bought some teas and some infusers, which I'm very excited about from her while I was there. So that was great. So we each split half the conference table, ended up being the space, which worked out really well. And it was much deeper than the table that I had practiced on when I did my mock setup last week. So that was good. I was able to move things. It was good for a couple of reasons. Number one, I was able to move things back a little bit so that there was space in front of my setup for things to go on the table. That worked out really well for my smaller items. And it also worked well in the backside because I didn't have my craft cart, which is right there, that I usually bring and have on my side of the booth with my bags and my cash box and tissue paper and any kind of administrative stuff I need because it is missing its wheel. So it's not stable, but that was good because I didn't really need it because I had that extra real estate on the back of the conference table. So that worked really well. In hindsight, I probably could have used the space of the table a little bit better so that it wrapped around the table and had myself organized, but I did it as I do a standard table where I was on the back side, everything was facing out the front, and then I did bring my standing pegboard and my smaller shelving unit, which I put over by, there was windows in the front of the conference room, so I put those over closer to the window so people could see as they walk by the items and hopefully come in and shop. So, as I said, it was busy. I was pretty much talking with customers or checking customers out consistently throughout the market. Apart from the final 30 minutes or so, which I realized a little too late, I think, that we could have started breaking down during that time. I think it was like 4 to 7 and like all the other vendors were like ready to leave at 7. Like they had already broken down and they were gone. And I was still breaking down. So as usual, I was the last one. I'm always the last one. It's okay. I did lose a little bit of time because I couldn't find my cash box key at the end. I had it in my cash box and I pulled it out, and thank God I didn't lock the cash box because, oh my God, I put my Square reader in there. And if I had locked it, I would be so hosed for Saturday, but I didn't lock it. And I either put it in the cash box and didn't see it because I was exhausted last night, or it was on the table and it fell into my big wheelie bin that I bring full of plushies. And it's buried in there somewhere. Like I said, the good thing is the cash box is unlocked. So as long as the cash box is with me, it's not an issue. If I have to leave it, it's going to be an issue. Obviously, I'm not going to leave it if I can't lock it. So that's good. The other thing, I did bring all of my inventory minus one small bin of hanging baskets and plant hangers, which I saw people walking around with plants. So I was like, oh, dang, I should have brought the plant hangers. But honestly, the plant hangers they do sell. I have sold several of them, but they sell more at a trickle. So I prioritized real estate for some other things. Things couldn't get out onto the booth. There just wasn't the space. I did do a better job than I usually do of talking to people and letting them know, like, if there's any kind of creature that you're looking for, I may have it. There's a bunch I have with me that I couldn't put out. So just, ask any questions. And somebody did ask about cats, and I was able to pull out all of my cats, and she came back and she bought a cat later. So that was good. I had my cat keychains out, but I didn't have my cat plushies out just because priorities. I prioritized dragons. I'm not gonna lie. I prioritized the dragons. The pocket dragons definitely had a day, which I have been waiting for these pocket dragons to have their moment. And I felt like this was finally the market where they had their moment, and everybody was just so complimentary about them. This is the AR Serendipity design. I sold the snuggle size and several of the small size. And everybody would ask, are these coasters? And I'm like, they can be coasters, they can be bookmarks. I'm like, or they have a ring on the bottom of them and you can slide it on your finger and it's a finger puppet. And as soon as I would say that, every person was like, oh my God, I must have it. So I loved that. They really do. I mean, they're so versatile. They sell themselves basically. So let's get into the sales since I have it in front of me. I also, Victory Music, figured out finally how to do the thing where it goes what time each of the transactions happened. I found it. It's not in the reports section of Square, which is what was throwing me off. It's in the orders and payments section under transactions. I was looking in the reports and I'm like, why can't I find this? Everybody else seems to know where this report is and I can't find it. I found it. So Victory Music once again, because this is a happy day for me. All right. Well, before we get into the final to the breakdown, actually, even though I'm so excited because I found it, let's do a real quick recap summary first, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of it. So, summary is total in sales was $484.40. That is a great number for a 3-hour market, no vendor fee. I'm ecstatic. I'm thrilled. It was not open to the public. It was a very targeted audience. I'm thrilled with that. It breaks down to including setup and breakdown, which puts my time total, other than the time driving to and from, but my time total there at 5 hours. 40 divided by 5 hours, that is almost $100 an hour. It's like 96 and some change. That is awesome. Very happy about that. I feel great about that. There were 20 transactions sold and 31 items sold. So that is, again, really good. Very happy about that. I've had markets that are 4-5 hours long that haven't had as many sales or haven't had that sort of number in the past year. So thrilled, and so pumped as I head into what I'm anticipating to be a big market on Saturday. $449.40 of those were in credit card, Apple Pay, my little reader, and $35 was in cash. I paid $14.23 in Square processing fees and $29.40 in taxes. So all told, at the end of the day, that brings the total down to $455 in just straight sales. I'm, again, ecstatic. So happy. Now we can get into more of the, oh wait, there's another report I want to look at in the item sales, into more granular detail. Can I look by count? Display by, no, I can't. Okay, that's cool. So we'll just get into the granular that I found because I'm so excited. All right, so looking at the transaction specifically, at 4:13, I had 2 sales. So market started at 4 o'clock. 4:13 was my first sale. I sold a dragon hatchling. This is the Green Frog Crochet Hatching Animals collection. So the dragon, and I sold 1 dragon. And then right after that, I sold another dragon hatchling as well as a flying dragon plush, which is, who does the flying dragon plush? This is the one that I always confuse with the pocket dragons, and now Avalon. It's Avalon Crochet. So Avalon Crochet Flying Dragon and a Green Frog Crochet Hatching Dragon. Let me get back to the right size. Okay. So then at 4:41, I sold a 3rd dragon hatchling. They also had a good day. I believe I either came with 4 or 5, and I only have 1 left. So I know that they almost sold out. I will be making dragon hatchlings ahead of Saturday because they really did have a good day. So 4:41, that's my 3rd dragon hatchling. 4:46, just 5 minutes later, I sold a mini flower pocket dragon. 4:47, 1 minute later, I sold a flying dragon plush. Again, so the pocket dragons are Serendipity, and the flying dragon is Avalon Crochet. 4:49, I sold a regular mini pocket dragon. 4:54, it was another mini pocket dragon as well as a snowman. And at 4:58, I sold a 2nd snowman. That one was to my friend whose office this was. Hey, Steph. 5:01, so you can see like it was going. It was one right after the other. It was just back to back. So at 5:01, I sold a shark and a standing kitty. And at 5:01, I also sold, 2 separate transactions, a large rose sea turtle. This was my muted color palette sea turtle that I had made just leading up to this market. So that was great. That sold. 5:03, I sold a mini dumpling bunny. Those were the little bunnies that I was making in prep for this market as well. At 5:05, I sold this is a larger transaction. I sold my large standard sea turtle. This was my brown sea turtle that I had made last fall. He sold. My another mini pocket dragon, and another mini flower pocket dragon. So like I said, those pocket dragons had a day. Hold on. I've said things that I haven't said who designed it. It will all be linked below. So that's fine. But let me just go back and try to catch up. The snowman is from Cute Stuff Crochet. The shark plush is from, that was the great white shark. So that's from the Yarning Portal. The standing kitty is from Stitch by Faye. And the sea turtles, both the rose and the plain sea turtle, are by Passionate Crafter Design. Oh, and the dumpling bunny is by Ayuli Crochet. Whew, I got all that from memory. Look at me go. 5:06, we had another mini pocket dragon and a sea turtle keychain. So same pattern as the large sea turtle. I did it in worsted weight yarn and made it into a little keychain. So that sold. That was my last sea turtle keychain. So I definitely need to make more of those as well. 5:23, so 15 minutes later-ish, I sold an axolotl mochi. These are by Woolly Amigurumi. Were previously in mystery boxes for, there's my mystery box right there, for the foodie fair, and I quickly realized that mochi is not as recognizable as other things that could go into a mystery box. So I took all of my axolotl mochi. They're immediately recognizable as axolotls. I will say that because everybody that came up, especially kids are still the ones that are like, axolotl. And then the adults are like, what is that? And I'm like, it's a real animal. It's like a salamander. It's in Minecraft. And as soon as I say it's in Minecraft, they're like, that explains why the kid knows what it is. Every time. And then somebody did ask me, I think it was this transaction, asked me how to pronounce axolotl. And somebody at the market did tell me how to correctly pronounce axolotl. And it's something along the lines of, I'm probably butchering it, but it's something along the lines of ocelot. And I said that, and the person was like, I don't speak Spanish. She's like, no habla español. I'm like, no, same. I am going to pronounce every single letter you put in front of me. It's an axolotl as far as I'm concerned. I'm saying it wrong. We're all saying it wrong. It's fine. I don't care. I think at this point, it's become the thing where like the wrong has become the right because we all say it that way. So anyway, that was the axolotl sold. The ones that were popular were the mango, my orange, and my pink. Orange and pink were very popular last night. So I believe that was an orange one. At $5.29, my second standing kitty sold. Was the first one a small standing kitty? Oh, it was the first one. Okay, so back up just a little bit. The first standing kitty was a keychain. That pattern is not by Stitch by Faye. That pattern is by Hecklagorian Bamser on Instagram. I will definitely be linking that below. Very cute mini loaf kitty keychain pattern. Works up so fast. I love it. And the shaping is adorable. It looks really cute. The second standing kitty that sold at $5.29, that was the medium size. That is the Stitch by Faye pattern. And she's the one that came back. She was, what's happening? She was the one that came by earlier, asked if I had any kitties. I showed her the keychains and she said, do you have any other kitties? And I said, I do, I have those. And then I pulled out my kitties from my bin underneath and showed her all the kitties. And she couldn't decide which one she wanted. And then she came back and she bought one of the kitties. And she and I laughed about how it looks angry. And I'm like, aren't they though? They're cats. Cats are always angry. My cat is anyway. So that was great. $5.38, I sold a snowflake ornament, my mama seal plush, and a granny square beanie, which was the pink and orange with the tan background that I had made a couple weeks ago. The snowflake ornament is by Mushy, free on YouTube tutorial. The seal plush, also YouTube tutorial, is by False Bubbles. She's the same designer that does the baby seals that I make. I made one mama seal, and that one sold. And then the granny square beanie, it's a it is a sunburst granny square that I fashioned into a beanie. Not really following a pattern at all. $5.50, I sold a baby seal. $5.52, I sold one of my sunflower AirPod cases. I love when those sell. I get excited. That one, the flower that's featured on it is also by Mushy, but the actual case itself, it's just, I was playing around, made a little tiny pouch and put the flower on it. $6.34, I sold another axolotl mochi, a cable knit beanie, and the large Snuggler Pocket Dragon, which is awesome. And at $6.50, I sold a Minecraft Creeper plush and another axolotl mochi. And that brings us to the end. That's the end of the market. So yeah, it went well. As you can see, things were hitting pretty much every 10, 15 minutes at the most. right through the end. I said that it was quiet in that last half hour, and by quiet, I mean I had 2 transactions as opposed to the rest of the market where it was definitely like closer to every 5 minutes I was having a sale. So that's amazing. I am so thankful for being invited to be part of this market. I had a great time. It was, I can't gush about it enough. It was really good, and it was a high going into what I'm hoping will be a big market this weekend, as well as my last week of doing markets this year. So always good to go out on a high. I'm going to leave this here for today. I've got plenty to do coming up this week. I started to work on a Fury Dragon last night. I didn't get very far on the Fury Dragon because, as you can tell, I was quite busy. So I need to wrap him up. I'm also hoping I have enough yarn to make a buddy for him, at least. If I don't, I do have some happy mail that I need to open, but I will reserve that for another time. I have a big box sitting here from Naughty Pony Yarn. I finally bit the bullet and ordered pretty much every color she sells. So after hearing everybody in the world rave about it, so I'm getting on that Naughty Pony bandwagon, and I will open that and go through those in another video. But for today, I'm gonna leave this one here. I believe I am going to split this week up into 2 videos. So I have another market coming up this weekend. I will do the prep specific and the recap for that market separately and post that separately. So this video, I haven't decided if this one's going to go live early and be sort of a bonus, or if it's going to go live next Tuesday. Feels like a long time to wait, so I think this might be a Friday video. Bonus. So if that's the case, I will have another recap ready for you on Tuesday. And I believe that will be the case. So until then, thank you again so much for hanging out with me, and I will talk to you very soon.